Hello, hello. I'm just trying to see why my live chat isn't listed at the moment. Before I get started. Excuse me. Okay, so live chat is working, I just can't see it for some reason. Right. Oh, good. So, hello, welcome to Three Skulls Tavern. I'm Matt. We were meant to be having a Vaesen actual play tonight, but yeah, it's not happening. Mainly because somebody's ill, one of our crew, our GM in fact. So yeah, I'm filling in with a Year Zero mini dev diary. I'm a little bit scatty at the moment, just because there's been a lot of things kind of going through my head last minute, trying to get everything started. I'm just gonna crack open a beer, and that should hopefully help. Maybe sounds a bit like a crutch, but whatever. Tonight I'm drinking Erdinger, which is a wheat beer from Germany. I think quite famous outside of Germany as well. It's one of the big exported ones. Alright. So, what am I doing on Year Zero Mini tonight? That's the question. So as you can see here, I've got version 1.04 up on the screen here. I'm using Affinity Publisher, which is the program for making this. And yeah, essentially I'm very, very close to getting this thing out and released. This is effectively, I'm treating this as a sort of version 1 draft. I've started calling them 0.04. I've been putting like mini version numbers in between the kind of the big numbers, even though I haven't released a version 1.0 yet. Mainly because there have been some fairly big changes I've made between them. So yeah, there's quite a few things I want to do here, and effectively as it stands right now, this is pretty much ready to play. There's just two things that I really want to kind of implement here that are going to elevate hopefully the game to a slightly more usable level. And that's adding basically 2 pages in. 1 page devoted to conflict and 1 page devoted to what I'm calling adventure sparks. I'm stealing a term from Into the Odd there. Basically, what I would be doing here is we've got the core rules. I would strip out these sections here, the conflict, climatic scenes, trauma, those 3 sections there. They would be pulled right out, and I would be sticking them into an extra page. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So if I go over here to the pages, I find this page here. And I right click and do duplicate. And there we go. This says page 2, but it's actually page 3. And we're gonna, I need to actually make a new header. These are actually graphics here, so I need to make a new one. We'll do that today as well. But this is going to be all about conflict. So I'm gonna select all this. Whoa, no, I'm gonna I don't need to delete the sections on conflict I already have, of course. So there, we got the conflict and trauma sections. We can get rid of the rest of it. And we're going to go back to this page here, and we're going to delete those sections from this one. Cool. So the idea here is I might be adding a little bit more. I'm probably not going to add any more sections to the core rules. I'm going to leave it fairly straightforward. I'm just going to expand a bit more on it. I'm going to probably put a few more examples in for various things. I might move some stuff out of the game mastering section, for example, the quick gear section. And maybe the abstracting wealth, because that's all kind of important. Maybe even the handling knowledge, because handling knowledge is already here in the core rules, the knowledge rules. And it could be that I just make knowledge into a much bigger section with how to handle that. So that kind of makes sense. And the idea here is that by inserting an extra page, just around conflict, because there has been some confusion around conflict. People have been asking me questions about it. Some of the feedback I've been receiving has said it would be nice to have some examples and a little bit more information on how a conflict is meant to work. And it kind of makes sense a little bit. There's been a lot of people saying it, and it kind of is the main thing that determines how a game kind of works. So, I don't actually know if this is... Hold on, I'm just going to make sure that this is actually working properly with the chat. I'm actually going to run it in the background, which is going to be really horrible for my network connection, but it is what it is. For some reason in my dashboard I can't actually see I can't see my chat, which I usually can do. Anyway, cool. Yeah, so yeah, moving stuff around, shuffling stuff, inserting this extra page to do with conflict is going to just allow the 3 pages I've already got there around the core rules, the new conflict chapter, and the game mastering section to breathe a little bit more. I can add a little bit more text, I can add a little bit more advice, and it doesn't quite feel so smushed together as it currently does. I'm aware that it does kind of change the big selling point for, all the rules on a single page, but it's something that I think is kind of needed. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. I'm kind of happy with that as well. I'm happy to let it breathe a little bit more. It's just one extra page. It's not a huge thing. And then the last thing to do is I'm going to add another page here at the back. And this is going to be a completely new page. So we're just going to do that. And I'm just going to write in here. Right. This is going to be a chapter devoted to, I'm calling them adventure sparks. So basically like adventure seeds or adventure hooks, but also theoretically game starting hooks. So the idea is that there'll be a kind of a column. The way I've got it in my head is that the first column, in fact, I might even just put this in here. So this first column will be getting started, not getting started. So game sparks. The idea behind that is that there will be a way to select kind of some one-shot ideas to get you started with a one-shot. So like an adventure generator. In fact, we could call this an adventure spark. Let's call that actually adventure sparks. Then the next page will probably be more of the same. Text, insert, break, column break. So we'll probably call this adventure sparks continued or stroke oracles. And I don't know what I'm going to call oracles yet. Yeah. So, what have I got this one set at? Heading 2. So these are header level 2s. Okay. And I'm not going to call this Adventure Sparks. We're going to call this Random Inspiration. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, before I forget actually, is I'm going to change my page numbering here. So this is, no, these are all going forward one page number. So we're going to zoom down in here. We're going to select that. We're going to go 7 for that one. It says page 8, but the first page is got the Roman numeral 1. It's like the title page, kind of. This is 6. I'm going to just manually move these around because the font I'm using looks great, but the kind of vertical the vertical alignment is kind of very wonky for all these numbers. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, that's right, 5. Okay, let's move that over as well. There's definitely a way to add automatic numbering in this tool. I've done it for my Nord Saga book that I've been working on. I had previously been working on. It's just that, again, as I said, this specific font isn't great for it. So I do like, I like the way the font looks, but it's just one of the things I got to deal with. Okay, and that's it. So pages 1 and 2 are still 1 and 2 because I haven't inserted anything before them. But from page 1 onwards, this looks interesting. This thing here is moving. I don't know if you can see that, but the little splatter here is kind of moving on each page. It should be stuck by the master page here. In fact, I'm going to open one of the PDFs I rolled up of this previously, and just see how that looks. That's kind of odd behavior. So we're going to put it into page view mode. Okay, no, it looks fine. So as I'm scrolling through, you probably actually can't see that. Hold on. It's this bit here, right? So if I go... Okay, so I do have to zoom in. So, watch this number here. It's not moving. It's perfectly aligned. Okay, so we're fine. Okay. Just checking. Okay, so first step to do with this then is to get the new headers in place. So I'm going to open up Photoshop. I have version CS6 because I bought it a little while ago, quite a few years ago actually, and I don't really agree with the new Creative Cloud subscription prices and things, so I'm quite happy with Photoshop. Been using it a long time. So we got to go to my role playing. I'm going to open one of these, header graphic. Here we go. All right. So I've got all these grunge assets I've downloaded from this website, onlygfx.com. They're completely free. You don't even need to give attribution, although I have given attribution on my title page. But yeah, they're really great for using for this sort of thing. So yeah, what I could do is I could look at the ones that I've already used. So I'm kind of, because one of the things I've been trying to do is to try and use different ones each time. So we've got year zero mini like that, feedback like that, your character, core rules. I'm actually specifically looking at one that's kind of curved slightly, like a smiley face kind of going up a bit. We'll use that one for conflict. Yeah, so we're good for that one. So we're going to open this one. There it is. I'm going to drag and drop it in this other tab over here. I'm going to resize it for this tab. All right. Get rid of the old one. Apply the transformation. Get rid of the old one. Boom. There we go. All right. Select core rules. Change that to conflict. I'm going to move that a little bit more to the center like that. I'm going to just rotate it ever so slightly. I'll do. So effectively all I'm doing is I'm kind of rotating the text ever so slightly to match the graphic that I'm using. I'm kind of putting it so it's still at the left of the graphic but not always in the same position. And I'm keeping the text at the same size. So it's actually, you know, size-wise, it doesn't really matter that I've got, I'm kind of doing all these individual ones. It's always going to be the same size graphic. So we're going to call this a PNG file because I needed background transparency. We're just going to go header dash conflict. Okay, then I need one more. And this new one is going to be for random inspiration. For this one, I want it to be a bit longer. That one could be good. I don't think I've used that one yet. Ooh, that's not gonna work. I got a lot of options here. I kind of like this one. I'll go with that one. I rotate it 90 degrees. No, it's better the other way. All right, let's put the text in front of it. Yeah, there might be a problem here. So we're gonna call this random inspiration. Because this one's kind of spilling off. It's too narrow, so I might actually use a different one. So I'm gonna go back in. Kind of one that's a bit fatter, kind of like that one maybe. I think I might have used that one before. It looks pretty straightforward. Let's see. Is that the same one? Nope. That looks similar. This one kind of comes to like a bullet point on the end. I don't think this one did that. Nope. So this one's quite good. This one works. Okay, so this is going to be the winner. We're going to drag that one over. We're going to drop it in like that. We're going to, again, line it up. Hit the apply transformation. Put it in the right space in the graphic like that. There we go. That works. We're going to just bump this up ever so slightly. And we're going to rotate it just a tad. Like that. There we go. All right. Save that as a PNG. And we got our header random inspiration. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and Alt F4 that down. Get rid of Photoshop. And I'm now going to drop these in. So I go to page 4 first, and in page 4, I'm going to make sure I'm clicked in nowhere. I'm going to click on this little place image tool, go to my conflict header, which is right here. Just click anywhere like that. And I don't even need to, there. So what I'm doing is I'm placing it so that the top line is in line with the these text boxes, and the center is centered with the column. And if I just look at the previous ones, like this one, for example, it's exactly the same. So, yeah. There we go. So we got conflict in there. And then last but not least, we're going to stick the other one, random inspiration, make this text out. And then I'm going to click outside of it like this, and then there it is. Voila. There we go. All right, hit save. Post. All right. 20 minutes in, and I've just inserted the pages and moved stuff around a little bit. The thing I want to really think about now is how I want to flex this out. So I'm happy with the rolling dice bit. I think the pool is probably okay. I can probably actually extend this out a little bit. This definitely can. I've definitely shaved words out of this previously, so I can definitely make 6 mean success. You know, give that more space. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do knowledge rolls at the top of the next. Like that, and I'm going to put advancement and downtime. I want that to be right at the end. And I think we're going to try and do this. Whoops. Just stick it like insert break, column break. Like that. One of the things I did talk about again is the game mastering section, putting the knowledge section in there. So we're going to highlight that. We're going to go over here to knowledge roles. We're going to drop this down and say handling knowledge. We're going to go back over to the game mastering. I did talk about gear. This abstracting wealth, it definitely is GM advice, so I kind of want to keep that there. Yeah. So I think we'll move the quick gear section out. And I might put a little bit more in that. Yeah. Where would I put that then? I guess I could put it here, actually. And move advancement and downtime after the luck. So one thing I could put in here is the chance of success table. I think that's worth having. I think most people playing this, I'm kind of assuming that people who've played this have played a Year Zero game before, but that won't necessarily be the case. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to let's see, we've got one in Forbidden Lands, so open that. I think it's in the skill section when you roll the dice. There it is, right here. So I'm going to simply highlight this with a screenshot. One other place I could look is I could look in the OGL and see, kind of copy some of the text around the OGL. So I might actually do that. Let me open. Right. So this, basically. Dooby-dooby-dooby-doo. We've got body text. This is header 2. Let's find chance of success. It can be hard to predict the chance of success. Just rearranging the sentence a bit when you roll a lot of dice. The table below shows a chance of success when rolling with 1 to 10 dice. And I'm going to fill this in because I haven't got a lot of space here, actually. So maybe I need to move this back, the 6 means success, and move the chance of success over to the top of the next page. Okay, whatever. We'll just insert a break and see if that fixes it. Yep. All right. All right. I got a bit more space now. Oh crap, I just spilled beer on my keyboard. I've not been drinking very much either, just clumsy. Oh well. I'm not sure if this keyboard is one of those waterproof ones. I guess I will find out shortly. That's right. It's right on my my numeric pad. Okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. Let's have a look then. Chance of success. I'm going to put a table in here. So we're going to go insert a table. How do I do this again? Oh, yeah. How did I do this? Is there, I think there's a table window I need to pull up. View. Table. Well, I mean, I've got another table in here. I can just copy that one. How did I get that in there? That's the question. Down here. For the table selected. Whoa, got some very heavy wind and rain right now. Hopefully, I'll see if my power gets cut out. Number of dice, tab. Chance of success, tab. Pushed roll. Enter. Oh, I want to do a tab after that one. That is a tab. Okay, 1 tab, 17%. Tab, 29%. All right, let's see if I can highlight these and insert a table. See if that works. Ah, okay. This is why, because I'm in a text frame. So I've got to do it outside the text frame. So I want it to be 3 columns wide, and I want it to be 11 rows. So like that. There we go. Okay. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to select this again. Undo that. Undo. We're going to select it, I guess. Yeah, and then we're going to move it in here. And we're going to insert it so that it's square with the other text. There we go. Link it to be 1 millimeter. That should be fine. Okay, cool. So I can always expand it to fill the frame like that. It's just automatically resizing everything as I need it. So we're going to say chance of success So number of dice, actually. The first one, then we talk about chance of success. Pushed roll. Cool. I'm gonna make all this center justified. So like that. And we're gonna go down here and we're gonna look at how we've formatted this. So I have this kind of gray fill behind this one. Which I don't see here actually. Table format. Oh, I did this so long ago. Trying to remember exactly how I did it. It's showing me I've got no fill here for the frame, for the stroke. So if I hold on, I come out of it, do this like that. Okay. So there's, I mean, there's definitely a color there. And it looks like it's here. Wasn't that one? Must be this one. Nope, that's also too dark. Like, actually, yeah, it's too dark. It needs to just be faintly... This one, maybe? Nope. So, we're going to click here. We're going to drag this over like that. I'm going to say this is the color I want. Where did it go? It's not pure white, I'm telling you. We got 8770. Okay, well I can figure that out. So, 8770 on CMYK. And oh, okay. That worked just by pushing this button here. Oh, because this, it's because I clicked with the the eyedropper, and it basically held the color there rather than putting it somewhere else useful. So whatever. It's working. That's the main thing. So we're gonna do it like that. In terms of borders, I've got no borders. So I do have borders, but let me just take them all off first. So we're going to, how do I get rid of all of them? Like, okay. Then I want borders like this, all horizontal rows. Way too thick, I think. Or is it the colors wrong? This is very frustrating. This is the most frustrating part of dealing with this tool. Is this gubbins. There we go. Okay, done. So we're gonna highlight these. We're gonna make it bold, and then we just stick the numbers in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chance of success, we got 17%, we've got 31%, we've got 42%, we've got 52, 60, 67, 72, 77, 81, and 84. Push rolls, we got 29, 50, 64, 74, 81, 87, 90, 93, 95, 96. Okay. Right, so I'm going to move the table over here. Table formats I can close, I don't want that. Okay, so the next thing to do is to actually make this a bit smaller. So let's compress this so it all still fits on one line. Like that. And then we're going to move the whole thing into the center. Gotta select it first. Like that. We're going to go back with this, the square. We're going to take it down to 0. And that way, we're compressing space a little bit. Look at that. That fit in quite well, actually. That might even fit over here. But I do want to, after this 6 means successes. So you want to talk about successes, then... Yeah. Cool. All right. Happy with that. I still have some space to expand here as well. So I've added the chance of success, which is good. Yeah. Okay. Conflict now. Climatic scenes, what I could do is I could have here where we talk about magnitude. The magnitude in climatic scenes can actually go with the climatic scenes bit. My God, that's really annoying. And what I would like to do is I'd like to have trauma on its own column right at the end. I'm going to leave it like that because I want it on the end column. If I add another column, add another thing, it's going to jump off when I put something in the middle here. But I want climatic scenes to be at the end, actually. Oh. I want to expand, basically I want to expand conflict out quite a bit in terms of doing narrative conflict. I think I could have trauma straight after it, actually. Not a lot of space. No, we'll leave trauma there. And we'll move climatic scenes to the end there. Insert break. Column break. Yeah, so I'll have a nice long example of how this works. Whoa. How can I not just hit tab and have that indent over? Do I do this manually? That would be kind of weird. Bullet 2. There we go. But why can I not have this list here? Paragraph. Bullets numbering. Start numbering at 3. There we go. Okay, that works. There we go. Got magnitude just stuck straight in there. So that's a good way to kind of conserve space a little bit. Cool, I like that a lot better actually. Having it rather than having it split on separate pages, it's all just, you know, really nice and easy to reference right there for the climatic scenes. So what I want to have under here is I want to have climactic scene example. Where I got that the heading 2. TBC. One way I could split this up is I could put scars after being broken, and I can have a whole section here on healing and recovery, just so it's a bit easier to kind of find these bits. It's called recovery. Mending wounds. Yeah. Cool. All right. So there's a few things I could talk about here. One is I could talk about ranged. Range. We'll go with conflict. We're going to go with chases. I want chases in here too. Chases I might just put at the end after the example. So the conflict is actually going to be a like a combat type of thing. Okay. The reason I'm mentioning range is I wanted to just add a little thing here where if you're attacking with a ranged weapon, the difficulty increases the further away you are. And it's effectively as easy as that. We'll go with combat. We're going to call this combat as a new section. We're going to get rid of this because it says conflict, right? Conflict has its own page now. It doesn't need a header. So we're now talking about conflict is treated like any other event. The GM passes the spotlight amongst you, giving you each of you scene where appropriate. Combat. If you are attacked, roll to defend yourself. If you are attacking regular foes, each success causes 1 trauma. Tougher toes may have special foes, so you okay. If you're attacking with a ranged weapon, the difficulty increases the further away you are from your target. To keep this simple, and simply require 2 successes if the shot is long, or 3 successes if it is at the very limit of that weapon's effective range. If you're attacking with a ranged weapon, the difficulty increases the further you are from your target. Simply 2 successes are required if the shot is relatively long. Two successes are required if the shot is relatively long. 3 successes if it is the very limit of that weapon's effective range. Cool. That's nice and compact. That handles future and contemporary settings as well as things like bows and crossbows and that sort of thing, which I think is useful. What else do I want to add? So one thing I'm going to look at here is I'm going to look at what I came up with for the other game I'm working on, my Naga Demon project, my National Game Design Month project, because I have a conflict section in here. I guess I could talk about armor. It's gonna be useful in a lot of typical role-playing settings. So we talk about range. Let's talk about armor. Armor simply reduces incoming damage. 1 point of armor can shrug off 1 point of. I'm just gonna leave this as trauma. It's fine. Okay. Armor is simply reduces incoming damage. 1 point of armor can shrug off 1 harm. I'm using the terms trauma and harm before I've introduced them in the text, which is the next section along. Unless they're in here. Nope. Armor simply reduces incoming damage. 1 point of armor shrugs off 1 harm. Okay. Yep. Ah. No, I'm not doing that one. That's fine. Broken. Healing. There's not a lot more in here I've added, actually, so... That's it then. That's it. That's all I needed. So we're going to put in a conflict example. I'm going to put in some lorem ipsum text. In fact, we're going to do it like this. Probably enough. Chases. How do we want to do chases here? Another game I can look at is what I've done for Pitchfork. The reason I'm looking at these other games is I've started fleshing some of this stuff out in yeah, and they're all using a similar basis. So by looking at them, I can kind of come up with an idea of what I want in the final product here. Yeah, this is quite complicated. Chases should be the highlight of a session and are often connected to combat, either fleeing from or being caught. Either fleeing or being caught. This can still, a chase can still happen alongside. Right, I need to think here about keeping it simple and keeping it concise, right? So, new paragraph. Chases should be the highlight of a session. Chases are chases should be exciting and become the highlight of a session. They are often connected to combat. Think of how many films, books, and comics feature tense chases. Chases should be exciting, and the highlight of a session should be exciting, and the highlight. Let's call this exciting chases. Can be the highlight of a session. Think of how many films, books, and comics feature tense chases. They're great. They're also particularly relevant to this rule set since combat is quite harsh and PCs and your characters are not as invincible as they might be in other games. Chases can be the highlight of a session. Think of how many films, books, and comics feature tense chases. They're also particularly relevant to this rule set since combat is quite harsh and your characters are not as invincible as they might be in other games. I shouldn't use the word invincible. Are not quite as hardy as it might be in other games. To run a chase scene, the GM simply maps out a number of boxes equal to how long the chase should be. And then moving through each box should be a little narrative scene, complete with obstacles, dead ends, and interactive scenery. Obstacles, dead ends, and other interactive scenery. In each scene, success moves you forward, while failure keeps you in that box. Extra successes can move you 2 boxes instead of just 1. Rolling a success for whatever obstacle or challenge you meet will move you forward, while failure will keep you in place. Will keep you in place. I'm gonna put chases at the end, I think. Possibly without an example. In each scene, rolling a success for whatever obstacle or challenge you meet will move you forward, while failure will keep you in place. Extra successes can move you to. You can also move either, if you want to split up, the GM can draw an extra row of boxes to run parallel from the point where you part ways. Use 10 boxes, no, use 6 boxes as a baseline and increase or decrease depending on how long six boxes is the baseline. But this can increase or decrease depending on how long the GM wants the chase to last. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. There's a little section on chases there. Save. If you have played role-playing games before, you might expect to see some initiative rules here. Sorry. User mini will run combat just fine, completely in a narrative manner. But if you really do want to add initiative, simply use the method you are most familiar with. Whether that is testing, having each PC make a test each round, drawing cards, or rolling a d6 and adding a relevant stat. Attacking and defending. So the reason I'm adding that in is because people have asked me, some of the feedback people are asking about initiative because I didn't mention it. Even though I've said it here, the GM passes the spotlight amongst you, giving each of you a scene where appropriate. That should be obvious enough, but I think it's just worth putting in a little paragraph there, as I've done, a few sentences saying, this is why there is no initiative, but if you want, do initiative. But honestly, you don't really need it. Okay, then we talk about attacking and defending. We talk about range. We talk about armor. Armor values should follow this guideline. Most armor simply reduces 1 point of incoming damage. Though heavy or specialist armor reduces 2. Armor never reduces more. 2, but never more. So armor, what I'm doing here is I'm not providing armor tables. I'm just basically saying, what kind of armor do you have? Do you have specialist armor, which would basically be like you've got a bulletproof jacket and you've been shot? Okay, you can reduce 2 damage. Have you got plate armor in a fantasy or a medieval setting? Fine, reduce 2 damage from like a sword or something. But the idea here is that it's meant to be flexible. It's meant to be pretty lightweight. And by basically putting one sentence in, covering 2 lines, that's more than enough. It's just basically saying it's going to reduce it by 1 point if you're wearing some armor, or maybe 2 if it's kind of specialist or heavy. I think that's enough. I don't think I need to put more than that. So I've got a conflict example going down there, which I will be putting in here. So we'll get to that later. And that will fill up the rest of the section there. And that's fine. Then we have the climatic scene. So I think I'm going to put a climatic scene example in, and then we're done with the conflict section. I don't think I need to put anything more in here. What I might want to do, climactic scene example. What I might want to do is kind of flesh this out a little bit more. So some climatic moments in the story might call for more structure, where a single roll of the dice just won't be enough. In this case, Each PC gets an opportunity to do their part, and the following structure is used to enact these climatic scenes. 1. Stakes. The GM explains what is at stake if you fail. This should be a story development, but could include trauma. Magnitude. The GM declares the magnitude. I want to do an M dash here, not a single dash. The number of successes needed to overcome the challenge. Normal difficulty, 2 times the number of PCs. Hard difficulty, 3 times. Nearly impossible, 4 times. Plan. The players come up with a plan. The GM can disallow anything unreasonable. Roll. The players enact their plan, acting out their scenes in turn. Each success rolled counts towards the magnitude. Outcome. Compare the total number of successes against the magnitude. If you have less than half of the required successes, you fail and the stakes are inflicted. If you have half or more, you can buy additional successes by taking trauma until the magnitude is reached. The GM will tell you the trauma should match the action you took. The GM ask the trauma should match the action you took. I'll just leave it like that. Stop saying like the GM can disallow. This should be fairly straightforward. I think that's fine. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I don't think it needs more space than that. Yeah. Conflict doesn't need a huge amount of space. Climatic scenes will need a lot more space because there's a lot more going on there with stakes and magnitude and all the rest of it. So I think this is fine as it is. Yeah. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. So that's my conflict. I'm going to move on to some of these other sections. Let's go back to the core rules and see how I'm going to kind of expand this out a little bit. I did want to maybe expand on luck points a little bit, although actually it should be okay. You start the first and only the first session with 1 luck point. While unused luck points carry over between sessions, you never start with a free one if you spent them all last session. You gain more luck points by acting on your conviction, allowing your impulse to get you into trouble, or sacrificing something for your friend. You can spend a luck point to re-roll, holding as many dice as you wish, though this can only be done once per roll. If you fail a re-roll, there is a silver lining. You get to mark 2 tallies to advance that attribute instead of 1. I don't really have anything to add there. It's pretty straightforward, really. This luck is used to re-roll. It's limited. You get it by kind of acting in character. What I haven't talked about is the maximum number. The maximum number of luck you can have at any is what? What should we say here? 3? The maximum number of luck points you can have at any one time is 3. That works. Each time you fail a roll, put a tally next to the attribute you just used. Put a tally in the relevant when your failure tally is equal to the attribute's next rank, you can increase the attribute at the next period of downtime. Once advancing, reset the failure tallies. Example. If your current attribute rank is 3, once you've accumulated 4 failures for the attribute, you can raise this rank to 4. then erase the 4 tallies and start counting anew. You will need 5 failures to then increase the attribute. You will need 5 new failures to increase the attribute to rank 5. Once play starts, you can change any of your traits to something more suitable during a period of downtime. Okay, now that's... Downtime is any period of rest between adventures. Not a full night's sleep. You can change any of your traits, any of your character traits. You can change any of your traits to something more suitable during a period of downtime. Run it by your GM first to make sure they update their own records. Knowledge rolls. So I was thinking of changing the knowledge rolls around a little bit and not have it like this. I was thinking of, so this is the idea, right? The idea for knowledge rolls was to say you don't actually roll based on your own education level. You roll based on how obscure the information is you're trying to figure out. So so basically the number, your dice pool is set by the obscurity level of whatever you're trying to figure out, and I can provide guidance for that here. If you're particularly well educated, or your concept can come into play, like I've got here, you can basically get like a bonus or maybe 2 bonus dice to your roll. And you can still spend a luck point to reroll. So, yeah. I kind of like that idea a lot. It's a little bit different to how these things normally happen, where you're rolling against a trait. But I think the trait should come into play in that you have like a concept that says like you're an aristocrat, or you're educated, or you come from some background where that happens to be relevant to this obscure piece of knowledge that you're trying to roll on. So, don't roll a normal dice pool to determine if you know something. Instead, the GM will either give you the information or ask you to make a knowledge roll to find out if you know. The size of the pool, the size of the dice pool is based on how obscure or well known the information is that you're trying to recall. Roll 2 dice if the information is obscure. roll 4d if the information is roll 6d once the GM has confirmed how obscure the information is, the size of the dice pool you can add dice if your something in your concept can help. Add 2 dice. Add 1 dice if your concept is a little relevant. Add 2 dice if there is a strong argument to be made. I kind of reduce this down to 1 line. Add 1 dice if your concept is a little relevant. Add 2d if your concept is extremely do I just want to say is a little relevant or extremely relevant? I mean, may as well. It's just saying how relevant is it? Okay, that's fine. Click save. Just noticed a formatting thing that I hadn't applied to bullets. Speaking of bullets, I did have some bullets down in the conflict section. Here, level 2. That's okay. They're okay. Yeah. So the thing I'm struggling with here is this handling knowledge. So, you know, give players information for free if it rates what they're asking. I think this just goes at the front here. So this is all part of this section. Knowledge rolls can be very important to the setting, e.g. investigative horror. Games of investigative horror. How did I do this one before? What is this? So I'm going to Dominican italics 10. Perfect. Recalling information or testing your education. Recalling information can be very important to many settings, e.g. investigative horror. At other times, it can be important to test whether you know something relevant to the scene you're in. To make a knowledge roll, don't roll a normal dice pool. Making a knowledge roll isn't handled like a standard attribute test. Am I using the term test? Instead, the GM will either give you the information or ask you to make rolling to test your knowledge isn't handled like a standard attribute roll. Isn't handled like standard attribute rolls. Instead, the GM will either give you the information, or ask you to make a knowledge roll to find out if you know. Okay. I'm gonna just highlight that in bold to make that a term. Roll 2D if the information is obscure. Why am I capitalizing this? I don't know why I'm capitalizing this. Cool. I think I'm happy with that. So quick gear. Oh, what I'm going to put there? I don't know. This is where maybe I'm kind of happy with all the other sections, so maybe I can talk around I don't know. Think about that. What else I can put in here for the core rules? I could look at some of the other games as well, but I want to move on a little bit. So I'm not happy with this like section at the end. I could put some kind of graphic in there theoretically, but let's look at the game mastering section now. I have this big section here around adversaries and that could go there. Cold-blooded murder is the not coup d'etat, coup de grace rules from Forbidden Lands, which I quite like, but modified here so it fits in with luck points and all the various systems. So killing a defenseless person shouldn't be easy to do. If a PC wishes to murder someone in cold blood, they must fail an empathy roll to do so. I don't really have much to add to this. I've already scrubbed the text quite a bit, and I think I'm pretty happy with how that works. I mean, I can talk about wealth a bit more and tie that into downtime, so we can even talk about downtime. It could be a good section, actually. Heading to, so I want to not bullet to. I wanted to add a bit more actually here to the NPCs, so I might actually put this realistic adversaries section back where I had it before. Here. Let me just undo. Cool. So if I put a section in here for downtime, so I could do more. I could do more of these. I could do six of these quick NPC things. One thing I didn't do here with this table, which is interesting, is I didn't make it sit here in the space. So if I click on it and make it tight with 1, let's move it around. All right. So to come up with some bits there. These 2 character elements should give you enough meat to help you get in. For trauma, low-level mooks get 1 trauma, regular Joes get 2 trauma, tough enemies get 3 trauma, and epic villains get 4 or more. So this is where I need to put a little more text around here as well. This trauma can be combined. This trauma should be combined. PCs can take out their enemies don't calculate separate harm and stress values for all NPCs. Most enemies only need a single trauma track. A single trauma value to be tracked to take them out. However, tough and epic enemies. However, you might want to add separate harm and stress values for tough and epic enemies. Look at that, fill up the page. Boom. All right, I just need to add three more each of mannerisms and appearances. A good place to kind of steal from for this is a website. Oh, what was it called? Oh boy, what was it called? The Technical Grimoire. This NPC voices. It's a really good resource for this sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. So the only thing I've got left to do, I've got 15 minutes left on the stream, and I'm kind of running out of steam myself, is to think about this random inspiration. And these are just going to be tables, basically. So adventure sparks, for example, are going to be genre. They're not going to be genre. They're going to be adventures. They're going to be genre neutral. They're going to, I'm going to put this into a bullet format. Genre neutral. Aim to act a bit like a deck of tarot cards. A tarot spread, I should say. So I think I might need two different bits for this. But yeah, they're basically, the main ideas are going to be random tables. It's going to say like, such and such a person did such and such a thing because of this and this reason. What's the complication? That sort of thing. So you've got these random tables you can roll on to give you all these different ideas. They're only going to be D6 tables each. So I'm going to put that in here. Each table only a single D6. Then for my oracles, the oracles are going to use Ironsworn as a reference point. Use the Ironsworn oracles as a reference point. Look at tarot as well. Yeah, that's basically it. Ironsworn has these things for places, actions, and themes. So it's really the actions and themes I'm interested in here. So that's probably what I'm going to talk about. Use the action and theme oracles from Ironsworn as a reference point. Look at tarot as well. I mean, there's a lot in here as well. There's D100 tables for each of these things. I'm only going to be probably doing D66 tables stroke matrices for each. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I might change the layout a bit here as well, so the oracles are spread out a bit more rather than in 3 columns. So you'd have the adventure sparks on one side, and then you would have the oracles taking up 2/3 of the space. Maybe. I need to look into it. But I'm quite happy to kind of change up the formatting if I need to. Iron Sword. Iron Sworn, not sword. That's why it's not recognizing it. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I've added that to my dictionary by now. Downtime, then. Downtime is something I wanted to talk about. What have I written already for downtime up here? This is specifically, whoops. Downtime is important in any... Downtime is an important step in a Year Zero mini campaign. This gives your players, this gives the PCs time to rest and recuperate. To not only rest and recuperate, but also to learn from their experiences and potentially improve their lot in life. The main rule of thumb here, the main rule of thumb is that downtime should not happen too often. Once one downtime, one period of downtime between sessions is considered quite a fast campaign. While downtime should not happen too often, you are encouraged to treat it as a narrative framing device, and thus to wow. I'm increasing the I'm decreasing the user friendliness of the text by how I'm writing right now. You're encouraged to add it. While downtime should not happen too often, you are encouraged to add it wherever the story, not wherever, but whenever the story needs to take a narrative break. This could be between adventures or following a major event in the setting. You could even treat long travel montages as downtime events. You can even treat long travel as downtime events, though these work equally well as regular scenes. It was a bit close here, so I'm gonna revisit this little graphic and see what I've got here for the padding. Nothing, right. Let's try that. It's a bit better. Cool. I think I'm happy with that. Downtime is an important step in a user mini campaign. This gives the PCs time to not only rest and recuperate, but also to learn from their experiences and potentially improve their lot in life. To learn from their experiences and potentially improve their fortunes. While downtime should not happen too often, you're encouraged to add it You are encouraged to. Feel free. Feel free to add it whenever the story needs to take a narrative break. From an extended break. There we go. Whenever the story needs to take an extended break. This could be between adventures or following a major event in the setting. You can even treat long travel montages as downtime events, though these work equally well as regular scenes. Let me look at the word montage and see if there's a better word for it. I think I'm using the wrong word. Travel montage. No, it's the right term. You can even treat long periods of travel as downtime events, though these work equally well as regular scenes. Though these can work quite well as regular scenes too. Alright, I think my game mastering section is done. I need to just put some extra stuff in here. I'm going to add some conflict sections here. I'm going to think about what I need to add to the core rules. So that's something I need to think about. And then I need to basically come up with these inspirational tables. So yeah, I've actually, I feel like I've done I'm really happy with what I've done here. Conflict getting its own section definitely feels like the right move. Yeah. I've been able to put a whole section on chases in there. I've added range and armor. I've added a little blurb about initiative. I'm going to be able to put two like fairly decent examples in for that as well. And I think that's all useful stuff, while still keeping it to one page. It's just the core rules I need to think about, you know, how I want to handle this. Knowledge rolls, I'm really happy with expanding that out. Gear, I guess I could tuck around a little bit more. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty much there. Pretty happy with what I've done. So yeah, there's a little bit of work left, especially coming up with these like inspiration tables and stuff. I want to get this game finished by December, before the end of the year. That's my working target. So yeah, I feel like I'm on track to do that. I'm not going to be running any actual plays in December, and so far I've got a tavern talk and a potential interview to do on Sundays in December. I'm probably not going to be doing any Thursday streams in December, as well as not doing them now in November. So yeah, I think if I earmark one of those Sundays to finish this off, I can kind of do a live stream. Maybe I can do some of this in between with a random inspiration. But what I can certainly do is I can show how I take the finished product, turn it into a PDF with tables of contents, with bookmarks, with checking the hyperlinks, adding the character sheet to the end of it. In fact, I could even do that now. I'll do that very quickly now. So if I go open sheets, the issue is that the sheets are, I'm not going to do this because the sheets are A4 and letter sized, and I want to add the relevant, I'm actually only adding the A4 one to this, and the letter one's extra. So actually I could just add it in. So here we have it here. I do want to do some changes to it as well, but if I just highlight it, if I just do kind of like this, hit copy, come over here, go to the open gaming license, for the open gaming license. So on this page, we're going to do add a page, no master, and we're going to paste. Boom, there it is. In fact, I can take this out as well. I can right click on the, or I can click on this page, right click, clear masters from it. Don't want to do that. Holy moly. What I do want to do is I want to go over here. I want to insert a master. No, I want to duplicate this master. I'm going to call it OGL. And we're just going to remove this like that. Cool. And then we're going to go back to the pages. We're going to go here. I've already deleted the thing there, and we're just going to right click and say apply master, and we're going to apply OGL. And let's just remove that bit, but the rest of it stayed as it is, which is what I want. The final thing I could do is I could just quickly add another master called, no, we're going to right click, we're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to call this character sheet master. And we're going to put that one above this one, like here. And this one I'm going to delete all of these text boxes, like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to apply that to the character sheet. And I've got the white background on it. Cool. If I go to view preview mode, there it is. All right. All the gray lines to be ready to be snipped out. One less thing to do later. So yeah, here we go. We've got, you know, it's not numbered, the character sheet. The open game license doesn't need to be numbered either. There's just kind of extra stuff on at the back. And we still have an even number of pages. In fact, if you do... oh man, I just thought of something. Maybe the random inspiration could come after game mastering before making a setting. Yeah. Because you want to use it as a game master, and that way you can print the game master page and the random inspiration page back to back, and that's more useful at the table for, especially for the oracles, than it would be for you know, having the setting thing printed on the back, because the setting thing is a one-off thing you only do once. 4, 5, and this needs to be 6. Yeah. All right. Makes a bit more sense. Cool, and that's me done. So I didn't see, nobody actually was in the chat today, so I'm not sure if anyone was watching. It says that there are 3 people watching, so apparently I've got somebody there. But yeah, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below, or to find me in any of the usual social media locations you can just see in the box here, underneath my face, or there should be links in the description as well. Okay, thanks very much, and we'll catch you for the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.